blood draining devices, and this one is for closing mouths. Kind of cool. Hi, I'm Victor M. Sweeney, and I'm a licensed...
Bro, why does he literally look like a mortician? That's so weird. Like, he just, like, what's up with the vibes, dude? Even if his name is Sweeney, like Sweeney Todd.
licensed funeral director and mortician.
Wait, what?
Hi, I'm Victor M. Sweeney, and I'm a...
Victor M. Sweeney at your service, madam. If you need mortician's work, I will write the obituary for you. Please don't forget to subscribe, because a lot of people that watch my videos don't subscribe apparently, and hit that bell. Oh, your husband is alive, you say? Well, haha, I'll take care of that. After all, I'm Victor M. Sweeney.
licensed funeral director and mortician, and this is Mortician Support. This is a question from Saint Severin. Question for morticians. When someone dies, do you remove their poo, or are we all buried with an unpooed poo? That is such a good question. More often than not...
Oh my God, dude. Look at how excited he got to talk about removing poop from a dead person's body. Oh God, this is a perfect
your
mortician.
poo is up to you. Sometimes you hear the myth that everybody poos themselves before they die. That's not always the case. Sometimes it is. For my purposes, when I get someone back...
Bro, that question literally sounds like someone in the chat wrote it, by the way. This is the dumbass things that some people in the chat say.
The funeral home and I'm preparing them. If they have pooed, then I'll clean them up. If it's the case that they start pooing when pressure starts to build up in the abdomen, then I stop what I'm doing, I clean them up. Typically what I'll do is I'll actually flush out the bowels with the hose, because the last thing you want to have happen is someone to start pooing and then to continue doing it when you can't control it. Jaded never won.
Ah, I can't eat while this is, dude, oh my God, I can't do this. I can't eat while this is playing. Dude, this shit is so weird. Oh, it's so undignified, dude. I mean, you're dead, so who gives a fuck? Why did I click on this while I'm eating, dude? Oh,
If a person wearing contacts dies, does the mortician take them out? Shower thoughts. Yes, historically, I've always removed contact lenses because one of the things that we need to do, of course, is what we call set the features. Setting the features would mean that we close the mouth, and we also need to close their eyes. So we actually have a device that helps us do this. These are called eye caps. They're essentially spiky contact lenses that fit over the eyes and will actually grip the eyelid when we pull it down over those little burrs there. I typically remove contact lenses because those just get in the way of me doing what I need to do to set their features and provide a decent appearance for the family. Question from Lainey. Will my cat eat me when I die? Possibly? Hopefully? I think the short answer to that is yes. I've heard of that happening from colleagues of mine. And as we all know, cats being inferior to dogs, they will do anything. They are opportunists. There's a question from Vamp Florence. How do morticians not want to chug the embalming fluid?
based. Okay, never mind. I'm on board. Queenie, you can fucking... Dude, that sets up... This would be a wonderful... Like, a mortician would be a wonderful horror villain, dude. Like, so many tools and shit that you can use. I mean, I'm sure it has been done already. It's probably a trope or something. But I don't watch a lot of horror movies, so don't make fun of me. But I feel like I feel like he could you know, he like, even if it's been done before, I don't know if they've ever like used the actual mortician tools as weapons or as like you know, twisted things that he tortures his victims with. But I feel like that would be fucking sick. Like, that would make a great villain. Oh god. Annoying fucking cat Andes in here losing their fucking minds, possibly because they have toxic plasmosis or whatever the fuck it's called, and their cats are now controlling their brains. Honestly, I believe that. I think cats literally fucking control human brains because every cat owner fucking are defined by the ownership of a cat. Or rather, sorry, the cat owns them, obviously. So like they have no chill. They have zero chill. Look at this. They're worse than anime, dude. They're worse than fucking annoying. They are worse than annoying fucking weebs, dude. How can you be more annoying than perhaps the most annoying group of fans on the internet? Stop it. Be normal.
These look like they taste like Fruit Loops. Well, I really love the picture you have And I noticed you forgot the blue flavor. Embalming fluid is really colorful, but I can assure you, it is not tasty. It smells awful. As far as the coloring goes, it is strange, isn't it? One of the reasons that a lot of these fluids are maybe red or other colors is so that the embalmer knows what they are without having to maybe read the label. But you'll also notice that a couple of them are red. When we push the blood out of the body in arterial embalming, we're pushing out a red fluid. So ideally, we want to put a red fluid back in. So we gain access to an artery. Typically, we'll make an incision, maybe in the neck or in the thigh. And then we'll also gain access to a vein. We open the artery. We are going to have an embalming machine, which acts as a pump. And we're going to use this arterial tube, something like this. So this goes down the artery, and then it's going to pump fluid through. Now your vein, we are going to open with either a large forceps or this device called a drain tube. So this goes down the vein, and then when we open it, the blood will pour out the side of our device here. And then we can control how quickly or how slowly we want the blood to leave the body. When we have a deceased loved one, they're gonna look very, very pale because the blood has stopped circulating. So when we put in the red blood, the red fluid rather, that's actually gonna pink them up in some ways and make them look a little bit more alive.
Motherfucker said red blood, dude. You hear that? On accident, he said red blood, dude. Yo, this is literally, he's a villain. I mean, look, they're providing an important service. Don't get me wrong. But like, goddamn, dude, it's hard to fucking, I don't know. Anyway.
This is a question from Clementine. Okay, full disclosure, I'm fat, and this is a legit question. I'm not trying to be fat phobic, but how do extremely obese people, like I'm talking 400 plus pounds, fit in a coffin? Do they make a plus size coffin? Or does the mortician like cut fat out of them and sew them back up? I'm gonna answer the second part of that question first. No, we do not remove fat and sew someone back up. Everybody is buried intact if we can at all help it. So we actually have caskets that are made by our manufacturer to be oversized. Typically, when someone passes away, if they're larger, we'll measure them at their elbows because those tend to be the parts that stick out the furthest, and then determine what width of casket we will need to give them a more comfortable appearance. C for Chase. Do morticians put chapstick on the bodies or are they just sitting there? Casket open, lips cracked out. That's actually a great concern of ours is drying out. Not just the lips, but after you die, of course, your body is not producing any oils, so your skin can get quite dry. We actually have a heavy face cream that we use on almost everybody that comes through in the interim between when they're embalmed and when we get them ready for their funeral and put their makeup on if we need it. We always have that heavy face cream on to make sure that their lips don't dry out. So as far as chapstick goes, I've never put chapstick on a body, but if someone really wanted me to, I guess I wouldn't say no. Here's a question from Coco. Now I'm going on Google, looking up the weirdest stuff. What do dead bodies smell like? Dead bodies smell awful. Rotting anything smells awful. We are hardwired to think that dead human bodies smell bad. And it's a smell you never forget. I myself, I went out to a nice restaurant to have some aged steak, and I couldn't do it. I love this username. This is a question from Future Corpse. Aren't we all? What do morticians do with...
Is he saying it's similar? That's terrible. Why did he say that? You missed the username? Oh my god, that's fucked me up, dude. That fucked me up. C for Chase?
No. Here's a question from Coco.
Coco. Court 8311. What's the username? What's the problem with that? Space Invader. Future Corpse.
Future Corpse.
What the fuck?
Dead bodies smell awful. Rotting anything smells awful. We are hardwired to think that dead human bodies smell bad. And it's a smell you never forget. I myself, I went out to a nice restaurant to have some aged steak, and I couldn't do it. I love this username. This is a question from Future Corpse. Aren't we all? What do morticians do with our organs after an embalming? What happens when they aren't donated? When we do embalming, all your organs just stay inside your body. We can prepare them all internally. After we finish the arterial embalming, we have what's called the cavity embalming. Optimally, with the cavity embalming, you're trying to puncture the lungs, the heart, the intestines, the stomach, and then you're also gonna try to shoot for the kidneys too. We actually use what's called a trocar, and I have one here. It's a hollow point spear, essentially, and it hooks up to what we call an aspirator. So it's a vacuum, essentially. Insert this in the abdomen, and then try to puncture all the hollow organs, and then the vacuum will actually draw out all those nasty fluids. If you donate your organs, typically organ donations are handled by organ harvesting companies, and they will actually work with a hospital or
the Democratic Party. Sorry.
or with me to transport a body where it needs to go, and then they'll harvest the organs, donate them where they need to, and then the body will be returned to me after that whole process is done. Question from Paul Matthews. Do morticians normally just drain the blood down the sink? The short answer is yes. All of our bodily wastes are disposed just like our normal bodily wastes, the sewer system that goes right to the water treatment plant. This is a question from Soggy Emma. Why are coffins so expensive, y'all? Just bury me raw. Well, Soggy Emma, that is definitely an option. You can be buried in the ground without a casket. A lot of funeral homes put substantial markups on their casket. And I think it's just a way to collect money on the tail end of a service, but just like a furniture store, which would maybe mark up their kitchen tables 4 times what they actually cost, I would guess that most caskets are marked up probably 1.5 to 2 times what the wholesale cost is. This is a question from Tiny Rain. Do morticians put a bra on you? If so, I would like my rotting corpse to not wear a bra, and would like my ghost to be wandering braless with poking nips. Well, Tiny Rain, I don't know if there's much I can do about poking nips, but we do put bras on if the family requests. And the reality is, I've probably put on more bras than I have taken off in my life. Did that answer your question? This is a question from Leonard de Montague.
Dude, he's so unsettling, dude. He's like way too, I mean, listen, it's probably a good thing because he's like confident in what he does, and he like, I don't know, does he like his job? Is that a good thing to like your job if you're a mortician? It seems like he's doing what he loves, which is fucking sucking out the bodily fluids and remains out of a human being that you once loved that was alive. Oh my God, chat. It just, those who are simping currently are just basically doing one big self-report. You're simping because you think he's attractive, okay? Like, you literally think he's cute. That's why you're simping. It's just, come on.
Does a mortician feel just as sad as a normal person when someone close to them dies? The short answer of that is yes. That was one of the things, actually, I myself really worried about when I got into this profession. Because at a certain point, when you see a dead body, you almost always kind of go into work mode. What can I do to help this family? What can I do to prepare this body? So I was very concerned when I started doing this that maybe I would start to even think of my own loved ones as something to help or something to fix, and not really take in grief like
It's a necessary job, dude. I know. Oh wait, this isn't the one who, this isn't the fucking guy who was talking about how like carving up dead bodies makes him hungry. I had one of my OG fans is a mortician. I don't know what she ever happened. I don't know what happened to her. But she used to like, you guys remember? Like old heads remember. What she ever happened? Yeah, okay, my brain is a little fried. Shut up.
I used to. For my own family, for loved ones, my own grandpa passed away just a few months ago, and I feel just as sad about that as I think I ever would. It's just a matter of perspective and maybe where you're at the moment. Question from T. What foundation do funeral directors use to make dead people look alive? Well, that's a good question. All the makeup we use is actually formulated for dead people. So it's made to go on cold skin as opposed to warm skin like regular makeup. And one of the things we try to do is not cake people with makeup, but just do kind of light layers so that way their actual skin tone does shine through a little bit. If you've ever gone to a funeral and maybe you've seen someone in the casket who is caked with makeup, they don't really look like themselves. So one of our goals is to tone that down a little bit, so they do. Question from Lala. Approximately how much does a mortician make? The minimum and the maximum. I really couldn't say what the minimum and maximum are. The average I've read in the country is about $65,000 a year. And talking to my other friends and colleagues, that seems to be about the average for my area as well. Opia Dana, can you get half your body cremated and the—
Hell no, bro. Are you serious? Chat, you're hitting Pog, dude? He's literally handling your dad's dick, okay? for a living. That sucks. He needs to be paid way more, dude. Are you kidding me? God damn. Just like, Pog, 65 grand. That's a lot of money. No, motherfucker. Slide. Go on Indeed right now and fucking slide, homie. Pog, my current allowance from my father is only $400 a week. Poggers, that'd be so sick if I made $65,000. Like, dude, he's literally sucking out people's shit out of their asses for a living, dude. He deserves way more than $65,000.
The other half buried. Do morticians do that? Asking for a friend. I have never done that, and I've never had anybody ask. I guess I could see it happening if you really wanted to. You would have to have a disposition permit that would have cremation and burial, and I guess we'd probably have to sign a waiver to cut someone in half. But maybe the bigger question would be, what half are you gonna cremate and what half do you bury? This is a question from That Doodle Bunny. How do morticians handle their jobs without becoming emotional wrecks? That is a good question. Most morticians I know are pretty normal people. There are times where it's emotional, so you do feel it, and there are maybe days you come home where you just feel done and you don't want to work or maybe do what you're doing anymore. But I think the fact that you can actually help people on my side of the desk, on this side of things, there are things that you can do that maybe nobody else can do. You can provide a chance for a mother to see her son one more time. It's those kind of things that keep you going.
I mean, he's fucking right, dude. Holy shit. Now I feel so bad. I called him creepy. He does seem like a very nice guy. It's just there's something very unsettling about a person who loves what they do. It seems like when, you know, what they do is literally handling dead people. Like, it's crazy. I'm sure most morticians are conflicted with that reality too, where it's like, I don't know how to describe it. Nah, yeah, you should. That was weird. Man, shut the fuck up. I apologize for nothing. How about that? I take it back, bitch. It's weird. Yes, Vagina Dentata was the Mortician chatter. Nice, dude. Fucking 23-month Andy Burke the Jerk over here. Yeah, her name was Vagina Dentata in the chat.
Going in those hard times. This question is from Not Waving. How do you dress the deceased? I have theories. Well, I would love to hear what your theories are, but really it's fairly simple. You're just gonna work their arms through just like you dress a baby, maybe. Oftentimes, if we have someone maybe very large that we can't move very well, or maybe someone who has outgrown their clothes, or maybe their clothes are too big, we'll oftentimes make cuts down the back and simply drape it over the front and tuck it under the back, maybe sew it in a couple places, so that way it sits right on the person and doesn't look like an overlarge tent or squeeze them into their clothes like a sausage. This is a question from...
I'm dating a mortician. Fucking flex, dude. All right, dude. Get that shit out of here, dude, okay? Oh, look at me, bro. I'm fucking dating, dude. Look at me. I got a fucking girlfriend. Pog. Just kidding. She says you have to realize that it's not your grief and that you're helping others grieve. Oh, that's still kind of interesting. My dad was a mortician's apprentice for a while. He said the worst ones were children. Yeah, that's gotta fucking break you, dude.
From Trap Jason. Why don't we bury people vertically instead of horizontally? They are already dead, so why does it matter? We could save so much space. That is a great question. I think a lot of it has to do with practicality. So if you were to bury someone vertically, you'd have to dig a pretty deep hole, and it would have to be pretty narrow. You can imagine how tough it would be for, let's say, 6 people to carry a casket to the graveside and then turn it up on its end and drop grandma down the hole. You might need it.
Actually, it's kind of cool. That's so stupid. All right, time to drop grandma in the hole. I kind of want that now.
Like a seatbelt of some kind? Question from Crowbar Jones. What does a mortician do if there are artificial nails on a corpse? Keep them? Take them off? Asking for a friend.
What?
I hope you don't mean keep them by keeping a collection, but if you mean keeping them on, more often than not, I will. Typically the artificial nails look nice, clean, and of course your nails underneath are pretty rough. If they have them on, I usually keep them. Other things that people might be concerned about removing, piercings, they almost always stay. If it's an ear piercing and they have their earrings in, maybe we'll take the earrings out, clean them up a little bit. Other body piercings, I always leave them in. This is a question from Melody Jackson.
He's a cool mortician, dude. Isn't your grandma kicking it behind you? No, she left already, but the joke was just, you know, in general. Yo, this guy has a cup full of people's nails 100%. Oh, why am I burping so much? I'm sorry.
Do morticians take makeup classes when getting their certifications? Yes, we do. I have a 4-year degree, and at my college, we took courses on what they call restorative art. So this would include things like makeup and coloring, but it would also include things like putting people back together after accidents, sculpting an ear if someone has lost an ear. Lip boy. Do morticians also give haircuts? Anyone know one that can do a nice fade? Yeah, lip boy, I do give haircuts every so often, usually only to men, and usually only if it's something minor. If someone does need to get their hair done, we'll actually usually call a hairdresser in. It's fairly simple, because really—
Shut the fuck up, dude. How do you... Okay, bro. I'm a hairdresser. If a mortician is calling me to be like, hey, can you cut this dead person's hair? I'm like, get the fuck out of here, dude. Are you fucking insane? Absolutely not, motherfucker. No way, dude. What the fuck? I feel like that's an entirely separate league. You know what I mean? It probably pays real good. Well, no, it doesn't. You know why we know it doesn't? Because this motherfucker makes 65 grand a year, dude. It's so much money. Wait, you guys think it's why would cutting a dead person's hair be so much money if morticians are only getting paid like 65K just to do what they're doing? My dad is a master barber for 25 years. Dude, I feel like everyone's dad does some shit, dude. I don't know if it's real or not anymore. I make 20K in Oklahoma and I live like a king. 65K would be god level worthy of touching dead dad dick.
you're only working with the front and the sides of the head. This is a question from—
Your rich is showing? No, you're failing to recognize that I am saying that $65,000 for a job as gruesome as working on dead people for a living is not enough. Also, $65,000 is not a lot of money in California, especially in Los Angeles. Chat is saying only, but like 65K isn't much in the grand scheme of things. You make 2x that much a month. Well, I don't know why people think that like I'm talking specifically about what this person is making as like, if you make $65,000, you're not making enough, you fucking poor. I'm saying $65,000 is not a lot in certain areas, but it's certainly not a lot for dealing with dead dad dick, okay?
Veronica. Say a body gets exhumed after 2 years. What should be the state of the body to be expected to be? That's one of the interesting things about my job, is that I never actually know what happens after burial. If we had an exhumation, you actually have to have a court order to open the vault and open the casket. I've heard of cases where they've opened the casket and the body looks more or less unchanged, and this was maybe 50 years after the fact. This is a question from Jonathan Cowip. Monty Python.
What?
After 2 years. What should be the state of the body to be expected to be? That's one of the interesting things about my job, is that I never actually know what happens after burial. If we had an exhumation, you actually have to have a court order to open the vault and open the casket. I've heard of cases where they've opened the casket and the body looks more or less unchanged, and this was maybe 50 years after the fact. This is
what the fuck? Bro, the embalming is like OP like that? This guy also went to a 4-year program for this, and it's a highly specialized skill, arguably a dead person doctor. Chat's being weird, 65K is not a lot. Thank you. That is precisely my point. I have exhumed bodies at work. I know what they look like. Oh, God.
Question from Jonathan Cowip. Monty Python's Always Look on the Bright Side of Life is the nation's #1 funeral song. What's the oddest funeral music you've ever heard? I haven't heard too many strange funeral songs myself, but I do have this dream. I have a friend, and I told him if he passes away before I do, I'd really like to sing On Eagle's Wings, but like the Swedish Chef from the Muppets. It would sound like—
Okay, he's fucking weird, dude.
this. You had real initiative, the lead, her burden, his city for life. And that's it. That's all your questions.
Okay, that's some fucking mortician shit right there.